everyone, welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we're taking a look at a model of the Ferrari 250 Testa Rossa made by CMC Models. This is really a truly fantastic model, and of course I'll get into the details of it here once I just kind of talk about the history of the car and well, my history with it. Okay, this is chassis number 714. It was raced mostly in North America and South America. Had a long racing history. I'm sure it was a pretty good racing history, but it didn't take part in Le Mans or the Targa Florio or anything like that, or the Mille Miglia. It just mostly raced in North and South America. This car was briefly famous about a dozen years ago or so, when it was the highest priced car ever sold at auction. It sold for about $12 million, which of course has been greatly surpassed since then. But that's where my history in this car comes in. And that is, back in about 2009, I was at the Concorso Italiano in Monterey. I was walking around and I come across a guy who's wearing a jacket, and he had a name badge saying classic cars on it. And it's a magazine that I read and had read at the time, and I saw the name tag and go, oh yeah, classic cars, I really love your magazine. It's a British magazine, and I would always go to the newsstand and buy copies of it. Turns out he was the editor of the magazines, and I had a nice long conversation with him. And I talked to him about, my Alpha GT V6 and things like that. And he said, well, why don't you go ahead and write an article about your Alpha, and we'll put it in the magazine. We have a column about readers' cars, so go ahead and write a story and we'll put it in there. So I did, and so my car and my face were in the magazine. Following year, I saw him again, and then I mentioned that I was going to go to the Colorado Grand in Colorado because I live in Colorado, and I said I could go ahead and write an article about it if you're interested. So I went ahead and did so, and so this is the article that came out. This is the magazine, by the way. This is the December 2010 issue of Classic Cars magazine, and here's the article. So I was very surprised to see this car because because it had sold for the $12 million earlier in the year, and to see a car that was worth $12 million and was the most expensive car ever sold at auction, driving for 1,000 miles through the mountains of Colorado, it was just kind of really surprising to see. And I found out later, of course, that the vehicle belonged to one of the Waltons, as in the Walmart billionaire family. So, I guess that's why he felt he could afford to risk driving this car. And I did see it a few years later at Pebble Beach as well, when there was when the Ferrari Testa Rossa was the featured mark. So I saw this with about 10 other Testa Rossas, something like that. So I have actually seen this car twice. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this model here, okay? It is a CMC model, so it is just impressively detailed. And, well, let's go ahead and first of all, talk about the paint. You know, the paint is perfect. It's this beautiful, smooth black color. Great detail here on the wheels. You know, the wire wheels and the drum brakes behind. The center locking nut looks wonderful. So does this exhaust here coming out the side. And of course, as you saw here, it doesn't actually have headlights. It just has, you know, aluminum covers over it because, you know, it raced during the day, so it really didn't need any headlights. And then you can see in the intake there the mesh grille with the radiator behind it. Also, you can see the very lovely Ferrari badging, and then the mesh opening there for the engine air intake as well. When you take a look at the rear of the vehicle, again, wonderful detail back here. The exhaust looks really cool. The taillights look great. The riveting designs, the riveting pattern there on the fairing looks really good. And then also this does open up for the fuel filler cap there, as you can see. Okay, the back does open here. This will probably be the last time I ever open it, but detail on here is fantastic. You can see the leather tie down for the spare tire, the fuel tank, and everything in there looks really, really great. Okay, looking in the interior, again, wonderful, wonderful detail here. You can see the dash, the gated shifter, the steering wheel all look fantastic. No complaints at all. The footwells look really good. The doors, of course, open here, and you can see nice detailing of the pedals and the inside of the door panels. All this. Notice that there's like some thigh padding for the driver there and the passenger. I suppose theoretically to help them stay in the seats, you know, during a race, because it didn't have seat belts back in 1957. Now we'll go ahead and we'll take a look under the hood. And I have all this stuff opened up already, so you won't see me struggling with the leather tie-down straps here. And I won't actually remove them all the way, because they would probably be almost impossible to put back in place. But I'll go ahead and flip back the hood here so you can see the wonderful detail here in the engine. Look at those red valve covers. Of course, Testa Rossa means red head, which is a reference to the valve covers. The carbs look fantastic. All the details, such as looks like twin coils up front, the two distributors in the back, all that sort of stuff just looks really, really wonderful. You can even see some of the tubular steel frame there around the perimeter of the engine also. So definitely wonderful detail in there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this back up here. So then we can take a look at the underside, and you'll see again just beautiful, beautiful detailing under here. Okay, now I kind of think that's kind of the, you know, along with, of course, the amount of detail. I love the, you know, amount of detail of the rest of the car. I do love how much attention CMC plays to the underside of the car as well. So anyway, that is the review of the Ferrari 250 Testa Rossa by CMC. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have a great day.